Welcome back to Jamaica News Now. This is where you get your latest news on sports, entertainment, and much more. Please watch, like, share, and of course, subscribe.
Now people, Peter Tosh scenes cut from Bob Marley One Love biopic, according to actor. Reggae fans eagerly anticipating the portrayal of original Wailers member Peter Tosh in the upcoming Bob Marley One Love biopic, set to hit theaters on February 14, may be disheartened to learn that all the scenes from the iconic Jamaican artist have been axed from the final cut. Actor Alexx A-Game, who was slated to portray Tosh in the film, took to Instagram to address the situation in an heartfelt 3-minute video.
Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Alexx A-Game. And this is a very, very important video. And if you watch it to the end, you will understand why. Now, first, let me say big love and respect to all the people that have been showing me support on the announcement and the news that I played Peter Tosh in the upcoming Bob Marley One Love movie. A lot of you have expressed, of course, that you have your tickets and you cannot wait to go and see me on the big screen for the first time. And that's exactly what this video is about. Not so great news this time though. With that said, I regret to inform you that you won't be seeing me on the big screen February 14th, as the scenes that I was a part of got removed from the final cut of the movie. Yes, very, very disappointing, I know. And that's exactly how I felt when I heard the news as well. But that is how film is. Sometimes not necessarily everything that goes on in production makes it to the final cut. In this case, for various different reasons, those scenes didn't make it to the final cut. Of course, not including my performance, as I was reassured by the director that my performances were excellent. And hopefully, we will get to see those very soon on your screens. Probably an extended version, who knows? I don't know. But hopefully, please, do not allow this to detract from the fact that this is a huge moment in time. One that I want you all to go out and be a part of and witness it for yourselves. This is big. And I consider myself very blessed to be a part of this. I've been a part of this for over a year. Back and forth, London to Jamaica, being a part of a wonderful family, working on this production, just giving my best and contributing to so many different areas of this production. I just want to say big up to especially all my castmates. They all put so much work into making this wonderful film. Once again, I give thanks for the opportunity to be a part of such a great project. One that has changed my life, opened so many great doors for me, and allowed me to delve into and embody such a great character as Peter Tosh. You can look forward to seeing me on a screen near you soon, as I'm working assiduously on these great opportunities and these doors that have been opened for me through the Bob Marley One Love movie. Alexx A-Game, real and true. One Love.
People, my big question is, why would they remove Peter Tosh from the movie when you cannot say Bob Marley without saying Peter Tosh? It come like you have Bunty and Beanie. You have to say Bunty and you have to say Beanie. So there couldn't be the Bob Marley without the Peter Tosh, people, me I tell you. So this not right to me. Me not like, boy, I don't know, but them have to know still. Me catch Jonah Gang for an interview and I go play the interview and make you guys hear, because I talk about him mother and father and him siblings them just the same. So make you listen what I go on.
So your mother, Cindy Breakspear?
Yes.
Was Miss World.
Yeah.
I understand that she actually lived in the Tough Gong studio, apartment, something of that sort?
Yes, well, she lived at 56 Hope Road, which was originally known as, I believe, Island House or something like that. Chris Blackwell had owned the property originally.
Okay.
And there was various apartments there that he would rent out to other people. So my mother and my uncle used to rent one of the apartments there, until eventually my father had bought the place from Chris Blackwell. But that is where I guess you say she really met my father and,
Right.
Yeah.
So They ended up having you,
Yeah.
but your father ended up passing when you were 2 years old.
Yes.
So you never really got a chance to really know him like that.
Yeah.
What was it like, before you started getting into music, when you were 5 years old, 10 years old, and you're growing up in this family, because your father had 11 children. Were you guys all close in the beginning?
As far as I can remember,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We've always been close. My older brothers and sisters always, them check for me, As a little youth, as a little baby, they would always still come pick me up, and we'd always, holidays, we go spend time, and, you know what I mean? And even our mothers were very supportive of that, of us coming together as children, you know what I mean? So as far back as I can remember, yeah.
Okay. And you're the youngest child?
Youngest son.
So there's a daughter that's younger than you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're growing up in this environment. At what point did you think, okay, I wanna start doing some music myself?
It was always there. I mean, as a very young child, I can remember having to perform my father's songs. I used to put on vinyl. I used to have a little Fisher Price turntable.
Okay.
And I would put on his songs and pretend to be on stage, and that was like a nightly ritual before going to bed. So it was always something that was there in my life, and we started doing shows in my aunt's living room. And then my aunt, Donna Core, she was the one who really said, let's try to do it publicly. So we started doing like Mother's Day events, little girls' birthday parties, things of this nature. And that was with a group called the Shepherds.
Right. And that was with Freddie McGregor's daughter.
Right.
And
Cat Core
from Third World.
Right.
His son.
Right. So his mom was the one who put it together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. So so that was, so like again, it was always something that was very dear from I was very young. And then what really happens still now is that dancehall music play a real big influence in me becoming an artist too.
Okay.
Because of course my family's music was always present, but dancehall music was the first music I started to buy for myself.
Yeah.
And going to concerts, I would always have the opportunity to go to concerts as a young child. And, I would remember seeing people like Shabba Ranks and Tiger and Peter Metro, and I would say I want to be like that. I want to do what they're doing.
Right.
As opposed to saying I want to be doing what
roots.
my dad is doing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Were there, when you were growing up and you were playing your dad's songs, were there specific songs that you really loved?
I can't remember what they were when I was that age. There's, I can tell you, so for me now, I would say I kind of like, in generally speaking, the more darker sounding stuff. So One Love might not always be on my playlist,
Like
personally.
Zimbabwe, songs like that?
Yeah, and top ranking, and
Okay. Were you Junior Gong when you were in the Shepherds, or did that come later?
No, that came later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did the Junior Gong name come about?
It came about really shortly after we stopped doing the Shepherds, shortly after that, because of now becoming basically a solo artist. And again, within the dancehall community, you wouldn't usually use your government name, you know what I mean? So trying to search for an acronym, you know what I mean? And of course, being that Gang is one of my father's nicknames,
Yeah.
But there was a little event still. There was a tribute to my father at 56 Hope Road, the Bob Marley Museum, and I was trying to get through the gate, and one of the security guys saw me trying to come through and started to clear the way for me, and he was like, "Next space, Gang Junior coming, Gang Junior, Gang Junior." So that's kind of when it kind of clicked on me. I said, "All right, I like that one," and we'll work with it since that. Yeah.
So you were Junior Gong at that point.
Yeah.
Now, you started working on your first album, Mr. Marley.
Yeah.
Now, what I think got everyone by surprise was that unlike Ziggy, you were more of a DJ style
Right.
artist, which you could sort of compare it to rapping versus singing in a way,
Right.
right? Where a DJ in reggae is the guy on the mic, whereas the selector is the DJ.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you came out with more of a new style. Was there a reason why you went with that style as opposed to going with like the classical singing style that your brother did so well with?
Again, just like I was saying before, because I've grown up with dancehall music as my music, you know what I mean? And again, being impressed by my dancehall heroes and wanting to do what they were doing. So it was really just more because being a fan of rhyming as opposed to singing, you know. Yeah.
But you were singing as well.
Back then, not really so much.
Okay, that came later.
Yeah.
Mr. Marley comes out, and it had a good reception.
Yeah.
But the second album, Halfway Tree, comes out, and that wins a Grammy.
That wins a Grammy, yeah.
So your second album that you put out already wins a Grammy. How did it feel to win a Grammy that early on in your career?
Great. And I was going up against some, well, in particular, Barry Salmon, who's a legend in Jamaican music, you know what I mean? So to win a Grammy, you know, being that he was someone else who was up for the Grammy
Essentially
also.
the Marvin Gaye of
Jamaican
Jamaica.
music, yeah. You know, so, you know, that was a wow for me, you know. That was, you know,
weren't
a great
expecting
accomplishment. Can't say I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I knew I stood a great chance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In general, you know, yeah.
Now the whole concept of the name Halfway Tree.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, Halfway Tree is a place in Jamaica. It's kind of like a big roundabout, you know. And the reason I named the album Halfway Tree because this place is almost like you'd say in between downtown and uptown. Downtown being, you know, the more, you'd say, rougher side of town, and uptown being the more privileged side of town, you know what I mean? So because of me, myself, being like where both of these worlds meet, being where my father is from and where my mother is from, I named the album Halfway Tree, you know, as a metaphor for my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a theme that you've really carried on through a lot of your music because, you know, like you have the Ghetto Youths crew.
Yeah.
Right. That's your thing.
Yeah.
And you sing about oppression.
Yeah.
But you yourself grew up in somewhat of a privileged lifestyle.
Absolutely.
How does that really balance out? Because you don't really see, I mean, when you look at reggae in general, most of the artists come from the slums.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, even Bounty Killer, I think, we're dissing. Didn't he diss certain artists, call them uptown boys and stuff like that at certain points?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does that balance out when you're singing about an oppression that you yourself may not have actually experienced?
You know, I'm only one generation removed, so I'm counting my blessings. You know what I mean? Perhaps if it wasn't for music and my father being who he was, I might not exist. You know, who knows? At the same time, you know, if Jamaica is not a huge place, you don't have to really, you know, search far to really know what's going on. And, you know, if you're someone who check for human beings, then, you know, you'd care for those who need help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I know my history. And it's very important, you know what I mean? I know my foundation, and we have friends and family who come from rough places.
Yeah.
You know, my son, we care.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really it.